Lesson 111 today. 3 statements of equality. We have done 2 statements of equality before. Like Billy Bob has 12 quarters and dimes. The total value is 50 cents. How many does he have? Obviously that can't work, but those are the kind of problems we've had before. But now we have 3 statements of equality. So how many variables are we going to have? 3. Yeah, you can use X, Y, Z if you want. I'm not going to use X, Y, Z. I kind of broke this. It won't stay on me, like thing. Well, I know, but I keep forgetting. So it won't stay on. So I'm just going to hold it. Alright, so we don't want to use X, Y, and Z. What do we want to use instead? Where'd you get N, D, and Q from?
You need that little mic on the right.
I should probably just use the headset one, because I need to get my super glue to glue it, but I just haven't had a chance. Okay, so what do we know about our N, D, and Q's? So that makes one equation. What could be another equation? Okay. Do you agree with that? Okay, what could go next? All right, which one is it? Which one is more? Which is more, nickels or quarters? Like that? Okay. Now what are we going to do? Okay. Instead of N, I'm going to put 10Q. So what is my first equation going to become? Do you agree? You had 10Q instead of N? Yeah, and now it's 11Qs. Okay, you can do elimination or you can do substitution. I don't know why, but I like doing substitution on these better. That's just me. So I'm going to solve for D. Do you see how that works? Those of you who are not writing this down, not a wise decision. So I've got this equation right now. Right now it's in terms of N, Q, and D, right? How could I put it in only one variable? I can put in N here, and I can plug in D. Will it only be in one variable? What variable will it be in terms of? In terms of Q. Okay. So 5 times what? Plus 10 times what? You see what I'm doing? And then what? Plus 25Q equals 225. Any questions? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, so what would you do next? Okay, 50Q. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, 50 plus 70, plus 25 is 75 minus 110. Yes. So, what do I get for my quarters? If you get a fraction, probably, you are 100% wrong. If you get a decimal, 100% wrong. You cannot have part of a quarter. You either have a quarter or you don't. Does that make sense? So if you get a wrong number, if you get something other than a whole number, you have done something wrong. Like, guaranteed, you are wrong. Do not even bother putting that as your answer. It doesn't make sense. Yes, a negative would also be wrong. So if you make a mistake, don't bother trying to find your other two. Go back and look at your equations. Reread the problem. Make sure you started with your equation with correct equations. If it's still, if you think your equations are right, go back and rework it until you get that first variable correct. Because if I don't have my Q right, what's the point in solving for my D and my N, right? Okay, so I have 1/4. Now I need to find my nickels and my dimes. Do what? So how many nickels? Y'all see how that works? And how many quarters? No, I already did that one. How many dimes? How'd you get 15? Y'all see how that works? Any questions there? Okay. So looking at another one. Well, I'll leave it down here for y'all to write. And I'll move it up. We've got blues, greens, and yellows. Will someone go write one equation on the board? It doesn't matter which one. Pick one of the equations to write on the board. Do you agree? If there was one more yellow than green, how many of each color were there? Do you agree? B plus G plus Y equals 7? Okay. What would be another equation? Go write it. Do you agree? Yeah, 5y. Yes, no.
They always look like fingers and colors.
That's why I make mine curly on the end. Okay, someone go write the third equation. Do you agree?
Wait, no, I put G plus 1 equals Y.
Okay, which is more? More yellow or more green? There are more yellow. So you should have yellow and greens. The yellows is more. So we got to add one to make the greens as many. Make sense? Any questions so far? Okay, if you think you can solve it by yourself, go for it. Are y'all already done?
I just don't really know.
Okay. If you think you can solve it, go ahead.
I don't know which
I would pick this one to plug in, either here or here.
does that matter which one.
He says do it up here because these don't have any coefficients, and so you'll have less to distribute. Now what? Y'all see how that works? Okay, plug it into the second equation. You can do elimination. That's fine. Yeah, this one is easier to do elimination on. So that's if you substitute. Do you have that? Any questions to that point? Yes? No? Did y'all get G equals 2? Any questions on G equals 2? I took B and put it in here, and then I took the Y and put it in there. So if G equals 2, what does your B have to equal? Okay. And what about your Y? Do y'all see how that works? Any questions on these? Are these that much more difficult than what you've done before? Not really. No questions? Yeah, you have to make your equations correct. And after that, you can solve them. Substitution, elimination. If you want to do guess and check, you can. Might take a little while to do guess and check, but